Chosen one. There is a holy interruption happening in your life. And it's not random, it's not luck, it's not coincidence. It's divine. Chosen one. Listen closely. God is funding you right now. He's not planning to. He's not considering it. He's already moving resources, shifting outcomes, and aligning timing in your favor. What looked lost is being restored. What seemed delayed is being delivered. What felt denied is being rewritten. And it's happening right now, not in a vague, distant future. The breakthrough you almost stopped believing in is being prepared as you hear this, because your future has been saved. There is a mysterious energy stirring in your atmosphere, a sense that something larger than life is taking shape behind the veil. That's not your imagination, that's confirmation. And this message isn't reaching you by accident. It's divine delivery, right on schedule. You're being asked to believe again, to stay present and focused, and to declare what you know in your soul. This is your funding moment. Watch this video until the end, because the more you engage with this truth, the more the shift gains power. And write your most heartfelt wishes in the comments, and write Amen, along with the number 99. It sends energy into your future. You're not just typing words, you're anchoring miracles. Now, chosen one, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and stay with me. Here we go. Chosen one, they may have tried to delay you, deny you, even design traps to collapse your confidence. But God was always 10 steps ahead. While others were plotting limits, God was planning overflow. While they whispered doubt, God was announcing provision. And you, even in the silence, even in the struggle, kept standing. That strength has not gone unnoticed. In the invisible realm, your spiritual account is full. You've been accumulating divine credit. And now, it's time for the funds to be released. The system is moving in your favor, no matter what your current bank account looks like. There is a different currency at work here, one that answers only to obedience, endurance, and alignment. And you're aligned. What's coming isn't a small relief. It's not a trickle. This is divine funding. It's a total turnaround. The kind that rewrites legacies. The kind that shifts generational patterns. God is not just solving a need. He's upgrading your life. He's placing favor in places your name hasn't even been mentioned yet. Doors that were sealed shut are being opened without explanation. And here's the truth. It's happening because your future holds too much weight to be left to chance. God has chosen to fund your future fully, because what you're meant to build, serve, and protect cannot be postponed any longer. Many around you won't understand this shift. They'll say you changed. They'll wonder how. They'll whisper, "What did they do to deserve that?" But you'll know. It wasn't what you did. It was what you endured. It was how you didn't quit. It was how you still believed when there was no evidence to believe in. God saw that. And heaven funds faith like that. You're being backed by something eternal. What's being deposited into your life now was written long before you faced that struggle. This isn't new to God. This is fulfillment. You may have been surrounded by scarcity, by limitation, by just enough. But that was only the proving ground. You were never meant to stay there. It was the launch pad for something higher. Every late notice, every overdraft, every canceled opportunity was not a punishment. It was preparation. It was creating capacity in you. Because where you're going now requires a different level of strength. It requires spiritual maturity. And now that you're here, God is activating provision with divine acceleration. You won't have to hustle the way you did before. What once took 10 years will take 10 weeks. There's a divine speed entering your life. Don't be surprised when you start seeing signs everywhere. Unexpected approvals, forgotten checks showing up, people coming out of nowhere to help you. That's how divine funding moves. It doesn't always look like you thought it would, but it always shows up right on time, and the timing now is critical. God is not just blessing you for you. He's blessing you for everyone attached to your purpose, your family, your future community, the lives that will be changed because you've stayed faithful. This funding isn't just financial. Yes, money will come, resources will flow, but even greater, ideas will spark, connections will form, peace will return, mental clarity will be restored. That's funding too. When you're no longer plagued by survival mode, you begin to dream again. And when a chosen one dreams again, heaven rejoices. Because your dream is a divine assignment. It's part of the blueprint. You were never random. You are strategic. You are critical to the shift. You've been hidden but not forgotten. Quiet but not absent. Silent but not ignored. And now, God is moving you into a new light. One that reveals your value. One that illuminates your future. That's why the delays felt so heavy. They weren't delays. They were divine refinements. You were being built in silence so that when the release came, you'd be unshakable. And now you are. This message is your confirmation. This is your now moment. You are fully funded in ways you cannot yet see. The backing is spiritual, supernatural, and irreversible. Those who counted you out will have to watch you rise, not because of vengeance, but because of purpose. Because your life is meant to be proof that God funds the faithful, that the divine does not forget, and that obedience always leads to overflow. At this stage, don't expect everything to make sense. Some of the moves God is making on your behalf are beyond logic. You will be pulled in directions that feel unfamiliar. Say yes anyway. You will be asked to step into places that seem too big for you. Walk in anyway. Divine funding doesn't show up for the comfortable. It arrives for the called. And you are called. That's why it's flowing now. That's why your future has been saved. You are the blueprint. You are the miracle. You are the sign. What was once impossible will now be your starting point. And from here on out, nothing will look the same. So pay attention. Stay open. Watch the patterns shift. Listen for the clues. And when it happens, when the money lands, when the door opens, when the message arrives, remember this moment. Remember that God didn't fund you because you were perfect. He funded you because you were chosen. Now is your time to stand in that truth. To receive without guilt. To rise without fear. Your future has been secured by something greater than luck. It's been signed by the Spirit, funded by heaven, and announced by this very message. Something is being reordered in your name. What you thought you lost is already being replaced, not with the same version, but with an upgraded one wrapped in peace, one carved with purpose. Chosen one, this is not a restoration of the past. This is a resurrection of the future. God has issued a divine override. It doesn't matter how much time they stole from you, how many opportunities were blocked, how many times you were told no. That timeline is no longer valid. A supernatural override has been issued over your life, and it comes with divine funding to secure the outcome. You've crossed an invisible line. The old system, the one that made you feel unsupported, unseen, unqualified. That system has collapsed. You're not operating under it anymore. God switched the current. You're not going to beg anymore. You're not going to shrink. You're not going to over-explain your value. That season is over. You were carrying an ancient blessing all along, and now it's been activated. What's being deposited into your life has already been cleared in heaven's accounts. You're not here to survive. You're not here to fit in. You're here to build. You're here to carry something divine into this world. And God doesn't give massive assignments without massive provision. The issue was never whether you'd be funded. The question was whether you'd stay aligned long enough to reach this moment. And you did. That's why this message found you. This is the receipt. This is your confirmation that the funding is not pending. It's active. God is not funding your past pain. He's funding your future plan. That plan includes vision, rest, protection, and supernatural clarity. You were trained in darkness, but you're about to shine in the open. No one will be able to deny that something greater is carrying you. They may not understand it, but they'll have no choice but to witness it. Because the favor on your life is no longer subtle. It's about to be loud, visible, uncontainable. Don't be surprised when people start asking you for guidance. When people who overlooked you suddenly want to be around you. That's what happens when divine provision shows up. It doesn't just elevate your bank account. It elevates your presence. It upgrades your posture. The glow that's coming from you now isn't from cosmetics. It's from confirmation. You've been marked by the divine, and those who doubted will see it. Not for revenge, but for revelation. There's something else happening too. The timing of this is not just about you. It's about the generation that comes through you. Your children, whether physical or spiritual, are being covered by this funding. That means the cycles you had to break. They will never have to fight. The scarcity you knew, they will never taste. Because you are the transition point. You're the divine interruption in the bloodline. And God has released this funding so the legacy can begin now. You were always meant to operate differently. That's why traditional paths never worked for you. That's why every time you tried to play it safe, something inside you crumbled. You weren't born for boxes. You were born for blueprints. You carry codes. You hold solutions that this world hasn't even fully seen yet. That's why it's being funded. God is not investing in noise. He's investing in divine necessity. And you, chosen one, you are necessary to this shift. You'll notice this. The more you move in alignment, the easier things will flow. This doesn't mean everything will be perfect, but it will feel right. The people, the resources, the timing, it will begin to arrange itself around your movement. That's divine architecture. That's the unseen economy. When God funds something, it becomes magnetic. You're not chasing anymore. You're drawing. You're pulling. You're attracting what belongs to you. The pain you carried was real, but so is the promise. And the promise always wins. It has weight. It has force. It cannot be erased by betrayal, by delay, or by disappointment. Your name is still written in the divine registry. Your instructions are still active, and the funds have not expired. They've just been waiting for this moment of recognition, this moment where you finally accept it fully. Not partially, not timidly, but boldly. The moment you stop shrinking into old versions of yourself is the moment the funding pours without restraint. The reason you felt pressure lately isn't because you're off track. It's because you're right on time. The enemy only attacks what's next in line for release, and you are next. The shift started the moment you began to trust the whisper more than the noise. That internal whisper that told you, keep going, don't quit. You're about to walk into something big. That whisper was divine. That whisper was God. And now the echo of that whisper is thundering through your timeline. The doors that once ignored you now have your name inscribed in gold. The resources you thought were unreachable are already en route. Even the delays are being repurposed as detours to something better. Your faith didn't fail you. It built the bridge. And now the funding is crossing over that bridge, directly into your hands. Chosen one, you've been prepared for this. Everything that happened, every silence, every storm, every sleepless night, it was chiseling something sacred into your soul. And now that soul is shining with proof. Divine proof. You're no longer trying to be chosen. You're walking as one. The heavens recognize you. The earth responds to you. The systems that once limited you are now releasing you. Because the command has gone forth, fund the future. And you are that future. Stay ready, because signs are about to surround you. Messages, numbers, dreams, confirmations. They're not random. They're clues. They're heaven's way of telling you that what you're sensing is correct. Your instincts aren't just hope. They're prophecy. You feel it before it shows up because you're spiritually wired for divine delivery. That sensitivity is your power. Don't dismiss it. Don't water it down to match others' comfort zones. Your clarity is currency now. Let the doubters doubt. Let the mockers mock. None of it can stop what's already written. They didn't fund you, so they can't limit you. They didn't call you, so they can't cancel you. Only God funds like this. Only God rescues futures with such precision. Only God turns scarcity into strategy, loss into legacy, and silence into spotlight. You are about to experience an undeniable, unexplainable, and unstoppable shift. Not because you forced it, but because you followed the assignment. The unseen has seen you. The divine has remembered you. And the treasury of heaven is open in your direction. You don't owe anyone an explanation for what's coming. You only owe God your continued alignment. This is the funding season. This is the confirmation hour. This is the moment you realize your future was never at risk. It was always protected, and now it's fully activated. There's a moment when silence breaks, not just around you, but within you. A moment when the whisper becomes a knowing. Chosen one, you're standing in that very moment. The silence you once feared has become your greatest ally, because in that silence, God was working, rearranging, canceling debts you never even knew you had, writing endorsements into rooms where your name was mentioned without your presence. You weren't being ignored. You were being hidden for strategic release. God funds on a different frequency. He doesn't fund the loudest or the most liked. He funds the obedient. He funds the willing. He funds the ones who carry purpose even when carrying it hurts. And that's you. Your story is not about random survival. It's about strategic preservation. You were preserved for this wave, and now the wave is crashing through your atmosphere, soaking every dry place, filling every hollow plan, and turning broken paths into golden roads. You don't need to be ready in the way the world defines readiness. God does not check credentials. He checks alignment. And when heaven decides to release a blessing, it doesn't send it to the most qualified. It sends it to the most aligned. That's why it's coming to you. That's why, even when you questioned yourself, something still held you upright. Something still told you, it's not over. That voice was not imagination. It was instruction. There is a vault in the spirit realm that holds everything God ever assigned to your name. In that vault are opportunities, resources, divine relationships, ideas, protection, acceleration. And right now, the door to that vault is open. Not because you demanded it, not because you begged, but because God said, now. That one word has shifted timelines in your favor. What you were preparing for has been preparing for you. And it's coming swiftly. Do not measure what's next by what's now. That would be a mistake. Because what's coming is disproportionate to what you've seen before. This isn't compensation. It's multiplication. It's what happens when delay gives birth to destiny. What happens when the waiting season becomes the launching season. This is divine momentum, and it's gathering force beneath your feet. Doors you never knocked on are about to swing open. Connections you didn't pursue are about to pursue you. You've been tested in isolation. Now you'll be trusted in manifestation. That means you won't have to prove yourself to enter. You'll walk in because heaven already endorsed you. They'll wonder how you got there, and you'll simply carry peace. That peace will be your confirmation. That presence will be your signature. That grace will be your access key. You won't need to convince anyone that you belong. The evidence will speak for itself. There will be moments in the coming days where you'll feel a divine nudge, a gentle push to move, to speak, to rest, to act. Follow that. That's God guiding you into funding zones, places where provision has already been placed in your path. You don't need to create the opportunity. Just recognize it. Your spirit will know. You'll feel a calm certainty even in unfamiliar territory. That's how divine assignments announce themselves. Your journey has not been easy. You've questioned your path more times than you can count. You've watched others soar while you stayed in stillness. You've had moments where you felt forgotten, even cursed. But that was never the case. You were being carved, not crushed. You were being prepared, not punished. And now the seal is being broken. The door is opening. The scroll is being read. And your name is on it. The future that once felt far has entered your present timeline. You're walking into the space between vision and manifestation. And in that space, God is your provider. Not just in currency, but in clarity. Not just in money, but in meaning. You're going to understand why certain doors had to stay closed. You'll see why that connection ended. You'll realize why the delay was necessary, because it was all building this exact moment. Don't shrink when the blessing comes. Don't fumble the funding by doubting it. You prayed for this. You bled for this. You kept going for this. Now receive it. Not with guilt, not with fear, with reverence, with joy, with honor. Let your life become the evidence that divine funding exists. Let it speak through your new choices, your healed relationships, your restored energy. Let it show up in your decisions, in your demeanor, in your declarations. There's a shift in your identity happening. You're not just a survivor anymore. You're not just someone who made it through. You are now a receiver, a carrier, a vessel of divine resources. That means you'll walk differently. You'll speak with more power. You'll dream wider. You'll no longer see funding as something you need to chase. It's something you're attracting, something you're commanding by showing up fully in who you are. What comes next won't require you to fight in the same way. Yes, you'll still face resistance, but the difference is you'll fight from fullness, not from fear. You'll respond from identity, not insecurity. Because you know, without a doubt, that God is funding you. Not for vanity, not for flash, but for function, for fulfillment, for the sake of the vision He entrusted you with. There's a table being prepared in your name, and this time, you won't arrive as the outsider. You'll be the reason the table was built. This time, you won't have to wait for permission. You'll walk in with authority. This time, you won't be asking if you're worthy. You'll know it in your bones. God has already funded this next season. It's paid for. Your job is to walk in it with holy confidence. Even now, forces are being realigned. Contracts are being written. Systems are being bent. Time is being compressed. All to accommodate your next. God is not just watching you. He's backing you. That means there is no loss that can sabotage what's coming, no betrayal that can block what's written, no fear that can hold up what's been cleared. Your future is fireproof because it's God-funded. This is your moment to stand tall, to stop doubting your divine entitlement, to stop downplaying your destiny, to step fully into the understanding that you are never asking for too much. You are asking too small. But now you see. Now you know. And now you walk with the full awareness that you are no longer waiting to be blessed, because the blessing is already moving. You are the evidence of God's strategy, the carrier of divine backing, the reason miracles will make sense. And it's happening now, not next year, not in another lifetime. Now, because God decided, because you're chosen, you're being watched, but not in the way you think. The spiritual realm is leaning in. The whispers of angels are circling your name. You've become the focus of divine attention, not because you begged for it, not because you pushed others out of the way, but because you carried something sacred through fire and never dropped it. That's why God is funding you now. You didn't just survive, you preserved the seed. You didn't just endure, You protected the promise. And heaven rewards the hidden carriers of purpose with more than applause. It rewards them with overflow. Don't underestimate what's unfolding. It may start with a subtle shift, an email you weren't expecting, a person reaching out from the past, a new opportunity whispered into your spirit. But the ripples are divine. God doesn't just drop blessings, He orchestrates upgrades. And what's on its way to you isn't random favor, it's targeted funding, tailored to your assignment, customized to your calling. It fits you because it was made for you. For too long, you've been operating on reserves, stretching what little you had, making things work when they shouldn't have worked. And even in the strain, you still gave. You still showed up. You still believed. That kind of faith is rare, and God funds rare things. He funds purity. He funds obedience. He funds the ones who carry the burden even when it breaks them. And now, He's replacing your burden with backing, your suffering with supply, your delays with deliverance. Don't let the small beginning fool you. The first deposit may look like a whisper, but it's the doorway to the downpour. God often releases the beginning in seed form to test your perception. Will you recognize the small shift as sacred? Will you treat it like the opening of something holy? Because how you honor the seed determines how quickly the harvest arrives. And you, chosen one, are standing at the edge of acceleration. This funding isn't about making you comfortable. It's about making you ready. God isn't just preparing a blessing for you. He's preparing you for the blessing. That means He's strengthening your inner world, sharpening your vision, and expanding your capacity. You won't mishandle this. You won't sabotage this. You've grown past that. That's why this release was delayed until now, because now you can carry it without crumbling. You're entering a divine economy where value is based on assignment, not appearance, where you won't be competing for attention. You'll be flowing in provision, where every no you heard becomes fuel for the yes that opens everything. The funding that's arriving now doesn't just cover bills. It covers vision. It funds ideas that once scared you. It backs dreams that once felt too big. You're not here to hustle your way to the top. You're here to be positioned, planted, and powered by something divine. They'll ask how you did it. They'll say it looked impossible, and you won't need to explain. Your existence will be the answer. The glow on your face, the ease in your steps, the peace in your voice, all of it will be evidence that something unseen is at work. You're not climbing ladders anymore. You're walking on paths built for your feet. That's divine funding. It constructs what couldn't be constructed. It paves what others can't even see. This isn't just about money. It's about movement. It's about momentum. It's about being funded on every level: emotional, mental, spiritual, and yes, financial. Because God knows that for the vision to live, the vessel must thrive. You were never meant to operate from burnout. You were meant to overflow, and that overflow begins now. Don't panic when the blessings start moving fast. Acceleration can feel like chaos when you've lived in stillness. But trust the pace, trust the positioning. God isn't moving you quickly to confuse you. He's moving you swiftly because the window is open. This is your divine access point. The gate is unlocked, the vault is open, and your name is on the scroll. You've graduated from waiting. You've crossed from hoping into harvesting. Your season has matured, and now the release begins. This isn't the time to look back. This is the moment to look ahead, with fire in your eyes and conviction in your soul. Because what you're walking into is not just for survival, it's for significance. What you're receiving now isn't just provision, it's power. Power to build, power to transform, power to create space for others to rise. That's what this funding is for. Not to just fill your life with comfort, but to infuse your life with meaning, to make your presence a portal for others, to become a walking confirmation that God still funds dreams, still elevates the humble, still remembers the forgotten. You are no longer forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not behind. You are right on time, right on track, right on target. And every day forward from here is covered in grace. Your future is so deeply funded that even your missteps will lead you to miracles. That's the level of divine protection you're walking in. That's the level of promise you carry. Chosen one, this is your confirmation to move differently, to think boldly, to walk with authority, to speak with clarity. Because you are no longer asking for permission, you are accepting your position. God didn't fund you so you could play small. He funded you because you are meant to shift systems, to break patterns, to spark reformation. You are not just being funded, you are being established. There's a reason you've been feeling an inner stirring, a sense that something massive is just beyond your reach. That's not anxiety. It's prophetic pressure. It's the future knocking on your spirit, asking you to open the door. The reason the old version of you doesn't fit anymore is because it was never designed for the level you're entering. And now, that level is here. Step in, with no hesitation, with no doubt. God's signature is on this moment. His fingerprints are on every detail. His angels are assigned to every step, and his funding has already cleared. You don't need to check your balance. You are already covered. You don't need to ask for confirmation. This message is your proof. This is the moment where your life bends upward, where your timeline expands, where your vision finally meets the provision. And all of it, every last bit, is because God decided it was time. Your future has been preserved, protected, and now it's being funded. Chosen one, there's a reason you were misunderstood, a reason they couldn't recognize your value, a reason you were left out, counted out, and spoken against. It's because the kind of assignment you carry doesn't come with loud announcements. It comes hidden in storms. And while others were chasing applause, you were being refined in silence. What they missed, God recorded. What they rejected, heaven preserved. And now, the vault of everything you've ever needed is opening, because your future is too important to remain unfunded. There is a spiritual infrastructure supporting you now, unseen but undeniable. You're not just walking forward, you're being carried by divine design. That's why some doors are opening without effort. That's why clarity is returning. That's why peace is growing inside of you like a flame. The fight isn't over, but your position in the fight has changed. You're not struggling for approval. You've already been approved, not by systems, but by the sovereign. That changes everything. You've been entrusted with something rare, the ability to keep walking when there was no path. That's not weakness. That's leadership. That's what God funds. He funds the brave, the faithful, the ones who carry weight they can't explain but never drop it. That funding isn't coming because you shouted the loudest. It's coming because you stood the longest. And now the honor is arriving. It won't feel like magic. It won't always come wrapped in flashing signs. Sometimes, divine funding looks like calm, like inner stillness, like waking up with an idea that solves a problem you've battled for years, like meeting someone who has exactly what you've been missing, like realizing the door you kept knocking on was never yours and seeing the one behind you already open. This level of provision comes with a shift in awareness. You'll begin to see differently, think differently, move in ways that no longer beg for validation. Because when God funds something, He doesn't ask for permission. He moves. And when He moves, nothing can block it. No lie can undo it. No failure can reverse it. You've entered into that promise. There will be days where the blessing will feel almost surreal. You'll question, is this really happening? And the answer will be yes. Not because you manipulated the outcome, but because heaven remembered your name. The version of you that cried alone, the one who sowed in silence, the one who smiled through heartbreak. That version is being honored now. Not with a handout, but with a harvest. This isn't about proving anything to the world. You don't owe anyone an explanation for why favor found you. The truth is, God funds purpose, and your purpose carries a divine urgency now. That's why time is moving faster.